Hello everyone, my name is For Extraordinaire, and I have a bit of pressing news today because the former CEO, Ebba Ljungerud, has resigned and been replaced by Fredrik Wester. Now, for those of you who are curious about this, I have done a little bit of research and kind of dug into this issue, but as long ago as about a day before I am uploading this, the CEO, Ebba, did step down, and she has had former experience, I believe, with a variety of other companies before she actually stepped on to join Paradox. But Fredrik Wester, as far as I know, has been there for the start, so there's definitely going to be a bit of shakeup going on over at Paradox, and I just want to explain what I found so far and what this means going forward for some of Paradox's titles, including some of the more remote ones like Imperator Rome. Now, interestingly, she has actually resigned because of something similar to creative disputes, citing differing views on the company's strategy. And while that might seem too big at first, you have to keep in mind that over her tenure, she has actually seen quite a few flops in recent history. For one, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, which was hinted all the way back in, I think, 2018, was delayed indefinitely, and there's been a ton of mess-ups regarding Bloodlines 2. Including like problems with the studios. I think there was even like some kind of diversity debacle. There's just been all kinds of nasty things going on in the development. And furthermore, she has also taken a different approach, trying to focus instead on things like diversity, I believe, and also the betterment of the company and just focusing on the longevity of the company, I believe, as opposed to just purely focusing on things like the bread and butter of Paradox, like the PC strategy games and some of the 4X games like Stellaris. So yeah, including like she has approaches to different mobile games, gamer toxicity, and then actually she did want to commit to Victoria 3. So there's definitely been a different approach. I think Fredrik Wester, at least from what I've read from some of the Redditor comments, he is a more traditional gamer. He's been here with Paradox since they started out in like a small building with 7 people. So he's definitely had a bit more experience with Paradox. And as far as I know, he stepped down for different reasons. I think he just wanted to take a step back. So I'm not too sure regarding Fredrik Wester. There's a bit less known about him. But regarding Ebba, there definitely was some problems with her in the company, and it seems like her resignation may have been for the better. Over on Paradox Plaza, and I recommend checking out the subreddit as it is a great source of information for all things Paradox, but the user Magneto88 has suggested that my guess is that Ebba wanted to continue expanding into new genres and new platforms, perhaps trying new payment styles, and that the Bloodlines 2 fiasco, amongst other things, has scared Paradox into a more conservative approach for the moment, which would explain why Fredrik Wester was appointed in the first place, as he has more experience from when Paradox was much, much younger. Remember that her history before Paradox was in gambling companies, and she wanted to push into the mobile market, which makes a lot of sense, which hasn't really gone anywhere. Strangely, Paradox is much the same as when she joined, aside from a couple console ports and some experimentation around Game Pass subscriptions, although I'd make the argument that this is largely because of what IPs are its strengths and how they're not suited for mobile clicker games, and I definitely resonate with that. We've seen things like the Stellaris mobile game coming out. I think we've even seen hints of a CK3 mobile spinoff, but there's just been a ton of mobile titles kind of floated around, and the DLC policies, especially with Leviathan, have not been too good, especially just in a general look for the company. So over her tenure, there have not been too many good things coming about, but that could be possibly not her fault, though we don't really have too much information into the matter, so we just really have to kind of guess based on her background. An interesting thing I will note, though, is that the former CEO, who is going to be the current CEO, Fredrik Wester, does take a more traditional approach to some of these games. So it's possible Imperator Rome, which is kind of more of a classical 4X strategy game, could get some love and support if Fredrik Wester wants to pull away from some of the mobile games and kind of focus the development back on Imperator Rome. So that is just kind of a theory of mine, but it's highly possible that he may return support back to Imperator Rome after Victoria 3 is finished, though I guess that might be a bit of a pipe dream coming from me. However, I do recommend reading this thread as it is full of a ton of different theories and information. Magneto88 goes on to say that that's one of their biggest issues for their plan to expand. They've got a very clear and identifiable brand, and that is definitely a huge problem once you try to expand out to new markets and you kind of alienate your just general PC gaming base with mobile games, which they do not want to play, especially for people like me. I just do not like playing mobile games, especially if they're very complicated and involve grand strategy. But that is just me. I want to hear your opinions on the matter. So if you guys are interested and talking about Paradox's shakeup, if you have any theories about what's going to happen next to some of the games, even if you have some wish lists for future DLC or future plans for the studio, please let me know down in the comments. But this has been For Extraordinaire, and I hope to see you guys later. All right, love you guys. Peace.